Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be very exciting because I am going to be reading for 24 hours for the first time ever. I've never done that before. Sing that on hiatus, totally not broken up boy band at the top of your lungs. Like, even if you don't like Kids,
lights are twinkling, streets aglow, frosty rooftops, dusted snow.
I was looking at heated rivalry edits on TikTok and now I can't get it out of my mind.
Christmas cheer, hearts are warm when the winter's here.
I wanted to do this challenge to see how much I can actually read in the span of 24 hours. That's what we're going to be doing today, or the next few days, however long it takes me to read for 24 hours. But I thought it would be pretty perfect to start it today because right now it's 10 a.m. and I have basically no plans all day, and tomorrow I also have no plans all day long. So it just seemed perfect to film this now. And yes, I am in my pajamas because like I just said, I have no plans, so why would I get dressed? Why not just be in my comfortable, cute pajamas? And then obviously we have the Christmas tree here in the background because it is December as I'm filming this right now. But this video is not only going to be Christmas book or anything, but the first book we're going to be reading is actually a Christmas book. The rest of the books we're going to be reading for the 24-hour challenge will not be. But let's get comfy on the couch and start the timer and start reading. I am already about 25% into the book because I started it yesterday. Let's get on the couch. So the book we are reading is Holiday Romance by Catherine Walsh. Okay, I can do 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds. So let's start. Okay, you guys, we are at the 1 hour mark, actually 5 minutes past it because I had to finish the chapter. And this book is so fast paced, so I'm already 46% through, which is chapter 15, page 171 on the Kindle, and it's only a 370 page book. So yeah, I'm almost halfway and I am really enjoying it. If you couldn't tell from some of the clips where I was literally smiling and giggling at the book. But let me just explain what this book is about. So it's called Holiday Romance. We're following the point of view of Molly, who is Irish, but she lives in Chicago. And every year she goes home for Christmas and she meets up with this guy named Andrew, and he's also Irish, so he's also going home for Christmas. And they make it a tradition after the first 2 times where it was just a fluke, and then they end up booking flights together and they sit together and they go home every year. They don't really see each other much throughout the year, but they have contact. This is their 10th year of flying home together for Christmas, but unfortunately a storm comes in, their flight gets canceled, and they've never had that happen before. And obviously it's Christmas, so every other flight is already booked and there are no other flights home. So they go on this crazy adventure trying to get home, flying to different places to try and get around the storm to go home anyway. And it's just a really fun cute Christmas book, seeing them kind of develop feelings for each other, because obviously this is a friends to lovers. They've only strictly been friends. They've dated other people in this whole time they've known each other, but now they're obviously spending a lot more time together, and both of them are single, so sparks are flying. And it's so cute and I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, it's just so fast paced, so I definitely think I can finish it today. I'm literally having such an amazing time reading this, so I will continue to read it obviously, and I'll see you guys in an hour, I guess. I I said I would see you guys in an hour, and then I was like, I don't really have anything to say. We are now officially 4 hours into the 24-hour reading challenge. I have paused the time so that we can talk. I finished Holiday Romance. I wanted to talk about it obviously before we pick the next week. I think I'm going to rate it 4 stars because it was really good, but I don't have like the 5-star feeling, you know? Like I'm not feeling like, oh my god, this is a 5-star, but it was really good, and it definitely got me into the Christmas spirit like so much. I'm genuinely like, oh my god, I can't wait. Like obviously it is like Christmas, it's December, but now I'm like even more excited for like Christmas Eve and just like going home and spending time with my family and stuff, because this was just so wholesome and cute, and I really like the relationship because obviously in a way it's going fast. Like it's only a few days. The book only takes place from December 21st until like December 26th, I think. Because of the fact they've known each other for 10 years, it doesn't feel as crazy that it's only a small amount of days, because it's like they've both been harboring feelings, and now it's just finally like getting out into the open and talking about it and like actually like exploring this. All like the cute Christmas moments and stuff was just so great, and I really enjoyed the book. Just a really perfect holiday read, honestly. I've had it on my TBR I think since last year, so I was like, you know what, I need to read a holiday book this year. I had it on my little Christmas bucket list to read a Christmas book, and now I have. Maybe I'll read more. For now, this was a really good one to have at least have read. And now, wait, let me just go pick up the next book. Okay, so I've been kind of in like a slump, kind of, not really, but a little bit, where I tried reading like 3 different books and I just didn't really know like what to pick up. Nothing was really piquing my interest, and I've downloaded like a bunch of books on my Kindle now, and I still like, I don't know which one to pick. And then I was like, I kind of want to read a physical book, but none of the books in my physical TBR were like speaking to me. So we're doing a reread of a book that I read 3.5 years ago, like in the spring of 2022. So it is a reread, but it's been so long that it almost feels like a new read, and that is Ghosted by J.M. Darhauer. I loved this book when I read it 3.5 years ago, but obviously like reading taste changes so much. Like the books that I used to read are not the same books that I read now, but I just think that I'm still going to love it. I think I rated like 4.5, 4.75. I honestly don't remember, but I know I didn't give it like a full 5-star, so we'll see if that changes with the reread. But I'm so excited to reread. I've been wanting to reread this book for years, honestly, because I really liked it. And then I got the physical copy when I was in California last year in May 2024. I still have not reread it, but now is the time. So we'll see how long it takes to read it. It is 448 pages long. I don't know how long that is going to take, but we should be able to read at least one more book, because we still have 19 hours and 58 minutes and 39 seconds left to go. I think I'm going to take a small little break just because I've been reading for 4 hours. And then I think I'm going to get cozy in my bed when I start this book. So I will update you guys when that happens. Okay, it's been an hour, so we're down to 18 hours and 58 minutes, I think is what it said. 5 hours down. So obviously I started Ghosted and I am on page 60. But obviously I've read this book before, but it's been so long that I don't really like, I obviously remember the premise of it, and I remember like the overall story and how it made me feel when I read it, but I honestly don't really remember anything specific that happens in the book. Like I wouldn't be able to pluck out a scene, and the things that just happened, I had no idea. Like I did not remember that at all. I spent a few days reading this book 3.5 years ago. It's like, you obviously remember you read it. I remember that I loved it, but to remember like every detail and scene, it's just not realistic. Anywho, you don't care about that. We're here to talk about the book. If you don't know what Ghosted is about, it is a dual point of view book between Kennedy and Jonathan. Kennedy lives in this small town with her 5-year-old daughter, and it's told in the present tense. And Jonathan is a famous movie star, but the two of them have a background and they actually used to know each other when they were in school. And like the past chapters are told from Kennedy's diary, like she's writing it as if it was a story about Jonathan, if that like makes sense. Like in her diary she'll write like, you did this, you did that. Like she's writing like a story or a book, whatever, about their story kind of from when they were teenagers. And Jonathan is obviously the father of her child. He is famous and he kind of left her for that, and he also has some problems with alcohol and drugs, so Kennedy doesn't want him around their kid. I actually don't remember, but I don't think he's ever met their daughter, or at least then it was when she was a baby. That's kind of like the overall premise of the book. But obviously Jonathan is right now, has been sober for a year, and he's going to try to win Kennedy back and obviously get to know his daughter Madison. And I remember when I read this book originally, I loved the kid. She is so cute. I know a lot of people, they don't like kids in books because they're unrealistic, and like I do agree that as a 5-year-old, some of the things she says, well not yet, but some of the things I know she says later on, so unrealistic. And like I really don't think a 5-year-old or close to 6-year-old would say stuff like that, but I still just love it. I love like the bonding of the other character with the child, and I feel like it's even more special because of the fact that it's her actual dad. It's also just like fun because it has more aspects of it with him, because he's a famous actor, right? But what he's famous for is this like comic book that was made into movies, so he plays a superhero. I think that just like adds like the fangirl moment of it. That's what I showed the dedication in the beginning, where it just says like, this book is dedicated to everyone who's ever loved a story so much they could quote it. And I think it was funny because I think I showed on my phone, I was listening to a playlist that I put on for Ghosted, and the first song that played was a One Direction song. And then it says in the dedication, sing that on hiatus, totally not broken up boy band at the top of your lungs. So I just thought that was really funny because they were talking about One Direction as I was listening to One Direction. That is just my little update for now. I'm going to put the book down, and I've paused the timer because I'm going to my Pilates class. Hello guys, it is the next day, and as you guys saw, I obviously started reading. We're down to 17 hours and 14 minutes, which means it's been almost 7 hours. But I am on page 171 of Ghosted, and I'm loving it so much. Like again, I don't remember much about it, but I love it just like I loved it the first time. So if you need a good second chance romance, this is so good. Even if you don't like kids, she is so cute. Like she's a 5-year-old and she's just adorable. Like I love it so much. But since it is December and all of that, I have a Christmas calendar, and I thought it would be kind of fun to open it together before I continue to read. So the calendar I have is one for Chips. So today is December 5th. So we're going to open. It is like these screws. I'm going to continue to read now. And I literally just love how cozy and Christmassy it is in here. Officially 10 hours into the 24-hour reading challenge. 14 hours to go. I have less than 100 pages left of Ghosted. love this book. We have 12 hours and 49 minutes left, which means I have been reading for 11 hours and 10 minutes, and I just finished reading Ghosted. So that means it took about 7 hours to finish this book, which was 448 pages long. But I did listen to at least some of it on audiobook, which made it a little bit faster because of the fact that I listened to it in like 2 times speed. It was amazing still. I might honestly just change this to a 5-star because I've been saying like this is one of my favorite books and it's on my favorite shelf over there, like my bookshelf where I have my favorite books. So I feel like it deserves to have a 5-star. It was so good even the second time. Just like the things they overcome, like I know I explained earlier what the story is about, but I'm going to explain it now like in a different way. So this story is about overcoming addiction for yourself and for the people that you love. So to see Jonathan like finally pick sobriety and to like a better life than what he was doing by drowning in drugs and alcohol, and for Kennedy when she got pregnant to realize that she had made Jonathan the center of her universe and she couldn't do that anymore, so she had to walk away and pick herself and pick her daughter, and she was giving him the chance to, you know, come back whenever he was ready, when he could be the dad that she knew that he was able to be. And that's what you see in this story, is just their second chance after they loved each other so much, but he got famous and it got to his head, which so often happens in Hollywood. So if you like second chance romances, this is really good. And even if you don't, I feel like this is a different one, because so often second chance romances are like a big miscommunication or whatever reason, and sometimes it feels really stupid that they didn't talk for 10 years. Whereas in this one, it's not like that. It's not like they haven't seen each other in those years and there was no miscommunication, you know? Like there was an actual reasoning and it makes sense why they broke up and like why they had to go separate ways. So I think this book is worth the read 100%. Also, if you couldn't tell, I changed into my pajamas. They have little cowboy boots on it, which I think is so cute. Anyways, considering the fact we still have 12 hours and 49 minutes to go, I still need to read some more. So the next book I'm going to be reading is actually a book that I started, I think last week or the week before, but I only read 16% of it, which is like 80 pages, which is Hollow by the Twisted Sisters, also known as Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. They are the authors of Zodiac Academy, which is one of my favorite series ever. And their new book just recently came out at the end of November. And I really wanted to read it, but then I just wasn't in a fantasy mood because I just read a few other fantasies. So now I've just read, you know, some non-fantasies. So I'm ready to go back into this story, which I think is going to be a really interesting book, at least the premise so far. And we're officially halfway through. 12 hours down, 12 hours to go. So let's just quickly talk about what Hollow is about. I am 24% into the book, and Hollow is basically, we follow the main character Ferris, who lives in this like human realm. Basically there's this haunted, cursed forest that they call the Hollow. Every day that goes by, it eats up more of their towns and villages, so people have to keep moving, but soon they're going to hit the edge and there's going to be no more places to run, because the forest has just like completely eaten up all of their land, which kills people and takes their houses and everything with it. But every 50 years the forest opens up and these chosen champions go into the forest to try and break this curse, but so far no one has ever survived it. Like, people go into the forest but they never come back out. And Ferris, she's not actually a champion, but when the forest opens, she sneaks in with the champions to try and avenge, I think, her sister who was taken by the forest. While in the forest, first of all, you have to seek cover at night. Once it gets dark out, you cannot be outside. Like, you have to like find a house or somewhere with 4 walls because otherwise she will die. And she's in there with the other champions and they have to like do these quests basically. So there are 13 spirits. I think it's either 12 or 13, but I think it's 13 that they have to conquer, and then like they'll get that spirit like as a little like medallion thing they put around their throat, and then they can summon that spirit to like help them. Good morning, you guys. My camera died last night, so I never finished up explaining what Hollow was about. So I'm just going to continue my train of thought, hoping that I pick up where it ended last night. Whoever has the most of these spirits by the end of those 40 days will get like a wish fulfilled by the forest, or they call it like a boon. I'm not entirely sure if that wish is supposed to be like that the curse is lifted. Yeah, that's like overall basically what the book is about. And then there are also fairies. They live like behind a wall, all the fairies, so the forest is not affecting them. But we do have a second point of view in this book, which is from Hendrix, who is a prince. He's a fae, and he has been like exiled from the Feyland, and now he's also in the forest. Where at the part where I'm at, they just met each other for the first time. My problem right now when reading it is that I kind of zone out, and I don't know why, because like I love Zodiac Academy, and I've also read Ruthless Boys by them, which is the same like universe as Zodiac Academy. So I've read like 15 books by these authors and I've loved all of them, but for some reason this just feels different. And obviously it's a newer book and they've probably evolved in their writing style and whatnot. And like I know that Zodiac Academy can be really cringy and stuff, but I just loved it so much. I loved the characters and it had so much humor, which I don't know if I feel like this does. But not that it's a bad book or anything, I just keep zoning out. But obviously I'm still going to give it a chance. I would say I would read at least 50% because the premise of it is really interesting, and also just that I love these authors. But as a little update as well, actually, Hollow is not anywhere on audiobook as far as I could tell, and I don't know, I wanted something to listen to. I actually started Heated Rivalry like last week or something, but I really could not get into it. I tried twice. I think I got like 12% into it after 2 different reading sessions. I just think it's a little bit too smutty for me, and then I hate third-person point of views. So it's on Spotify audiobooks, so I've been listening to that this morning while I made my breakfast and while I ate it. So I'm 23% into Heated Rivalry, which is chapter 7, because it's all over my TikTok, because a TV show just came out like last week or something. It's not out in Denmark as far as I can tell though, but people keep talking about it, and like everyone who's read it, they love these books. And I love romances and I love hockey romances, but I think my issue is just the smut. They're enemies with benefits basically. I don't really like smut like at all. So the way that I'm 23% through the book and there's already been at least 3 or 4 scenes is a little bit too much for me, but people just really like their romance. And they also have a second book. I feel like listening to it because I can kind of zone out a little bit when it's smutty and I don't have to like read it. That's my update about that. So I'm down to 11 hours and 15 minutes left, but I'm going to continue listen while I get ready for the day because I have to go to work now. Against all expectations, I ended up somehow finishing Heated Rivalry. I only listened to it on audiobook and I was like literally like 15% through it or something, but I think it's because it's kind of a short book, or like the audiobook is like about 9 hours and I listened to it in 2 times speed and sometimes even more than that. So obviously it only took like maybe half of that, so maybe like I don't know, 4 hours or something. And I literally just listened anytime I could, like this morning when I was making my breakfast, when I was getting ready for work, when I biked to work, when I biked home, and also just I went to the gym, so I was there for like an hour-ish, so I listened to it there as well, and while I was making my dinner. And so I finished it. Still have 7 hours and 40 minutes left of the challenge. We're about 16 hours and 20 minutes into the challenge, if my calculations are correct. I'm hoping that I can still finish Hollow because I am about like 20, I think I'm actually like 28% through it because I did read a little bit at my lunch break today at work. So I think I could finish that in the 7 hours and 40 minutes, hopefully. But to talk about heated rivalry, because obviously I never even really talked about it except for saying that I was gonna listen to it, and then I listened to it all day and I didn't film because I wasn't really home. So basically, heated rivalry is written in third person point of view, but kind of still in their point of views. Like, it still switches who you're like hearing it from. So it's about Shane and Ilya, who are both professional hockey players, or like when the book starts, they're not, they're about to be, but it's like their rookie season, or like they're about to get drafted for their hockey team. Ilya is Russian and Shane is Canadian, and they both get drafted for an NHL team, and they get like pitted against each other as rivals. They're two of the most famous hockey players in the world, and everyone just like pits them against each other because of the teams they're playing on. So it's always like on the news and everything when they play against each other. But from like the very moment they met each other, basically they're both kind of drawn to each other. Literally right in the beginning, like already in their rookie season, they start like having sex, which is why it's a very, very smutty book. Like, there is a smutty scene in almost every chapter, and there's, I think, a maximum of like 2, maybe 3 chapters at a time where there's nothing. A little bit too much for my taste. I don't really like smut. I think it's just a little bit too much, because obviously like I understand that there's a plot to the story, but at the same time it just felt like it was smut with not really any plot. Like, obviously I understand they're enemies, so it's not like they're like talking or hanging out, like you're only seeing them together when they're doing that, but it just still was a little bit too much for me, where I felt like there wasn't much plot other than the fact that they were doing these things. And obviously, yeah, I guess falling in love at the same time, but there was nothing else to it, you know what I mean? Like, there was nothing else to the story. I will admit that I started thinking they were cute, and like so many times when I was listening to it, I was like giggling and smiling and like trying to like not show emotions when I was in public so anyone couldn't see me, because they were cute, they were, but I just don't think there ever needs to be that much smut in a book. I mean, obviously if that's what you like and all that, then like good for you and continue to read, but I think I would rate this book like 3 stars maximum, because while I did think they were cute, it's not a book where I was like, oh my god, I'm obsessed with this, you should read this, because there was just so much smut and really no plot. The book is basically told through smut scenes, because that's the only interactions they really have. I just prefer like yearning and slow burns. I might still read the second one or listen to it, but if I wanted to listen to it, I would have to wait, because I think I have like 1 or 2 hours left on my Spotify now. But now I've just talked a lot. I am going to continue reading Hollow later, but I will obviously keep you guys updated as I continue. Guys, I fear change of plans. I was looking at heated rivalry edits on TikTok, and now I like can't get it out of my mind. So I fear I'm gonna have to start the second book about Shane and Ilya, which is, I believe, called The Long Game. I have it downloaded on my Kindle, so I'm going to read this one instead of listening. I'm such a mood reader, and I know if I force myself to read Hollow when I want to read something else, that I won't like it, and then that's not fair to the book, because I really want to like love that one. So I fear we're going to be reading about Shane and Ilya, because the show just came out and like I need to like find some way to watch that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read. They're so cute. Wait, I'm gonna cry. Oh my god. They're so cute. I can't. My camera is like balancing on my knees, but I thought I would just like talk because I haven't talked and I've been reading this book. Also, oh my god, the cover that's on my Kindle is literally atrocious. I don't even want to show it. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. But anyway, so I'm not really gonna show it. I'm just gonna hold it like this to say that I'm reading. I have 3 hours and 27 minutes left. And according to my Kindle, I have 2.5 hours left of the book. Let's hope that that's true. I am 64% through the book, which is chapter 26. I haven't even talked about the book yet. Obviously, I'm reading The Long Game, which is the 6th book in, I think the series is called Game Changer, but it's the 2nd book about Ilya and Shane. I finished listening to the 1st book yesterday, which is Heated Rivalry. This book does feel less smutty than the other one was, but this is also like she wrote like multiple books in between, so maybe she just changed it up. I don't know. But then obviously they also now got like more of an emotional relationship because they're actually like together compared to the 1st book where all their interactions were basically to have sex. There's still a lot of smut, definitely, compared to like what I normally prefer in a book, but to be honest, I just skim it for the most part because I don't like it. I've seen people like online who are like saying that if you don't want to read smut, then like don't read books that have smut in it, but I feel like that would take away from so many good stories. Like I am loving reading about Ilya and Shane, and I don't feel like it's invalid of me to read the book even though I don't want to read the smut scenes, because it's not like that's taking anything away from the book. I don't just completely like just past it, I just skim it, so I still like get the overall deal about what's happening. My overall thoughts is just that I like this book a lot better because you're getting like more, first of all, more interactions between them, but also just you're getting to know them a little bit better, especially Ilya. And I really like seeing the mental health aspect that they have going on here. I just like getting to know them more as people, and I really love Ilya. I like Shane too, but Ilya is just, I have a soft spot for him. Like some of the things he says and does, he's just such a sweetheart in like ways that you would not expect when you read the book or like hear about him or whatever, but he just loves Shane so much. And it is absolutely just like adorable. I'm having such a good time reading this book. I really love it, and I'm so excited to like see how their story is going to wrap up. And then I need to find some place where I can see the TV series, even though there's only like 2 episodes of them out right now. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna continue to read. So, yay. Uh-oh. Wait, I'm scared. Wait. Oh my god. Ilya always knows how to like make any situation funny and sarcastic. I finished it, you guys. I finished it. 4 stars. I am literally obsessed with Ilya. He is so incredibly funny and sarcastic and like so charming. Like you can literally tell from off the page because his character is like written so well that like anytime he says something, like I'm just like giggling and laughing because he's just so like unapologetically funny, and I can't even like 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I mean, obviously I didn't really explain what it's about, but because it's the 2nd book from the other one, I can't really explain it because it's just a continuation kind of where the first one, Heated Rivalry, went off of. But like to read about 2 different guys, and like they were literally a secret for 11 years. They had a situationship, or whatever you want to call it, for like 8 years. That is crazy. Like so like it has such like a unique spin from what I've personally previously ever read about, which was really interesting. Did I think it had too much smut? Yes, I definitely did, but that's obviously just a personal preference. But I didn't let that take away from how much I loved the couple itself. Even though I love them and I love the things they're saying and doing, I still feel like I don't really know them. Like there's not a lot of like deep background about who they are as people, or maybe there is and I don't know, didn't connect to them in that way. Like there's so many characters that I love and like I feel like I like know them. They fall a little bit flat while I still love them. More Ilya though. I feel like this book is maybe like 70% from Ilya and like 30% from Shane. Like I feel like Shane doesn't really have a lot going on outside of this relationship and hockey, but maybe that's just me. I don't know. Those are just like my opinions about the books. I still have an hour and 31 minutes left on the timer. I don't think I'll be finishing that tonight because it's 8 p.m. So I'll probably finish it tomorrow, and I will be continuing to read Hollow. Obviously, I will not be able to finish it because I'm only about 30% through. I cannot finish that in an hour and a half. I finished! Oh my god, I can't believe I finished it. As you guys could just see, I finished reading for 24 hours. And I will say this was actually really fun, and I would probably do this again. I do one day want to try like the reading for 24 hours while like doing a 24-hour readathon where you stay awake and do it. With school and work, it's just hard to find a time where I'm able to be up for 24 hours and not have any plans the next day where I could just sleep and then you get it. So this was like a fun challenge to still see how much I could read in 24 hours and like also actually see it, because if you stay up for 24 hours you'll probably be tired and you'll read a little bit less. Okay, I ended up getting halfway through Hollow. Actually, I am at 49%, which is chapter 22. That means that for the whole challenge I read about 4.5 books, but not entirely, because I was like 20% through Holiday Romance. I was also like 16% or something through Hollow when I started. I had also already started Heated Rivalry by the time that I started that one. 3 out of the 5 books I had already like started. So I would say maybe I've read like 4 books. And obviously Heated Rivalry I listened to for the majority. I still count audiobooks as like reading for 24 hours. Even if I wasn't like actively reading, I was still, you know, immersed in a book. My thoughts on Hollow before I wrap up this video is just, obviously I'm only halfway, but so far it's not like captivating me. Like it was a little bit of like a chore having to read for the last hour and a half. And I don't know if I'm just not in the mood for it or if it's just that I don't really love it, because like being 50% through, you would think that at this point you understand the world, and I feel like I do. And I know both of the characters, like I've met both of the characters and they've met each other, but I just don't really feel anything towards it. And like you can tell that they're definitely enemies, like they despise each other, but they have to work together. And obviously I like that aspect, and at some point I assume there's going to be something that happens like romantically or whatever, but I'm not there yet. But I don't really know, like I can't really like put a finger on what it is that makes me just not that interested. I think it's because there are no side characters as one thing, like it's just the 2 of them. And maybe also just because it's a little bit repetitive in a way, because obviously like I said, there are these 13 spirits that they have to capture. So that's just what the whole book so far is, just, you know, they go out and they capture one and they come back to like their base for the night and they go out and capture another one. And like, isn't that interesting to me? So yeah, I don't know. I really want to love it. That is just like my thoughts for now. 50% through is that if I would rate it right now, I would give it maybe like a 3-star, because it's not bad and I like the writing style, I like the characters ish, but I just don't like feel anything towards them. Like I don't really care. To sum up this video, we started out by reading Holiday Romance, which I really enjoyed, and then I reread Ghosted, which I have standing back there, and loved it, 5 stars. Then I listened to Heated Rivalry, which I really enjoyed, and I think I rated it 3 stars. And then I read The Long Game, which is the 6th book in that series, but the 2nd book about Ilya and Shane from Heated Rivalry. And I gave that book 4 stars, and I really enjoyed that one. And then I'm halfway through Hollow. Overall, I would say I read a lot more than I thought I would do in 24 hours. I think it's because sometimes you feel like it takes longer to read because you're pausing, you're looking at your phone, like all these things. But like basically every time that I would not read, I would pause the timer. So here you're actually truly seeing like how much can I read in 24 hours. And that turned out to be kind of a lot. Like 4 books, I would say, in 24 hours is pretty decent. Obviously, it also just depends. If I had read strictly fantasy, it would probably have been less because first of all, fantasy takes a bit longer because you have to understand the world. The books are typically longer and just a little bit harder to read compared to just a romance. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I will see you guys in my next video.